Hey, it's Joseph here. Today I have a product that I would like to unbox, which kind of has been sitting on the background for quite a long time. So here is Insta360 ONE X, and if you have been following me or watching my videos from quite a while ago, I actually owned one of these before. Therefore, I actually showcased how to use this with Matterport. If you haven't seen that video already, please be sure to check that out. I'll leave a link in the description for you guys to check that out. With that out of the way, why am I unboxing same camera now? Well, actually this is a enterprise edition of Insta360 ONE X. Whilst I do own ONE R and I use it quite often for all the 360 photos as well as sort of the top-down views that I typically do for product shots, but this specific one is just really meant for a 360 camera. So comparably, you would wonder where is the place for this camera, especially there is actually ONE X2 that is out on the market. Nonetheless, I think it is quite confusing where this product falls into. Let me go ahead and introduce and unbox this product to you first and then explain about what this product is or why it is important to kind of do the introduction now. And by the way, Insta360 team has sent me this product for unboxing and review purposes, so I just wanted to make that clear. So looking at the box, it says Insta360 ONE X, and it is an enterprise edition business ready 360 cam, and it is supposed to do 5.7K video, 18 megapixel photo, 6K photo in camera stitching, and virtual tours. So this one is specifically targeted for enterprise purposes, but actually the hardware is not different from ONE X that you are used to. So it is supposedly coming with a firmware update you can also get for your regular ONE X. It is just built in with that specific firmware. It is not upcharging any extra dollars, however, it is packaged slightly different, and also noting the fact that this is meant for enterprise purposes. Now, what is that firmware different to the regular firmware? Actually, it is the 6K photo in-camera stitching. So rather than relying on third-party software such as Matterport, Matterreal, and then Kula, there's a lot of other third-party software that are using 360 cameras technology and doing stitching inside of the camera rather than downloading and processing the photo later time. It is quite useful to do that because it saves time on your end, that the processing that has to be done either on your PC or mobile phone that is kind of limited in terms of processing. So it is quite useful to have that feature and make it available for the third-party software developer to utilize. Therefore, this firmware is opening up the doors for the developers to utilize the processing power of this device. So that's where basically this camera falls into. And on the side, there are some pictures where this camera might be used. So the construction site as well as real estate photography, that sort of thing. And on the other side, it kind of highlights the similar specs of this specific camera that is no different to the original ONE X. And the contents inside of this box is Insta360 ONE X and the lens cap. So that is actually different. This specific packaging includes lens cap, whereas the original ONE X did not include, and you actually had to pay separate fee for the lens cap. The rubber lens cap, I find it quite nice. I owned one for the original one as well. It was only like 12 bucks, so it isn't expensive, but it is nice that they have included so I don't have to go buy one, because that was actually something that I wanted to use. And it includes charging cable, battery, and warranty card, quick start guide, and packing list. And nothing really sticks out other than the included lens cap. And I believe the original ONE X included the fabric case with a lanyard, which wasn't all that useful because I carry the device differently. But let me go ahead and unbox this. So here on the box, a black foam, and then notice how there is the camera and the lens cap is on, which is the preferred method of me carrying this camera, because that way you can just put it down on the table like that and without damaging the lens itself. And because the lens protrudes outward once you lay it down on a flat surface like that, I don't really want to stand it because it is kind of wobbly, and I don't risk damaging the lens, which is good. So good thing that they have included, especially for enterprise business model. And then in here there's included charging cable, as it was stated on the box, as well as a battery and some paperwork, which I don't really care for. So you can pretty much expect very similar contents other than lens cap. And I know this battery is probably not going to hold any charge, since this box had been sitting on my background for quite a long time. So I'm gonna put this in and perhaps leave it charged whilst I am doing the talks. And you can do something like this if you're on the go and your device have run out of battery. You can just carry around power bank like this, connect your cable, and then just charge your device. And this way it is gonna start charging, and then you can just kind of do some other things such as traveling to do the 360 photo or scan, and it'll be charged. So whilst this is being charged, let's talk. So first of all, why would I get ONE X form factor over ONE R, which can do 360 as well as action camera and waterproof as well, and it has a color display? Well, I would go for ONE X because this is really meant for real estate photography as well as 360 scanning type of workflow, because this one has built-in 1/4" thread at the bottom of the device, whereas ONE R doesn't have this. You actually have to buy a different case to thread into the tripod and such. It is not necessarily meant for a straight up 360. It is more of like an action cam type of setup, and typically if you were to do just a 360 lens for ONE R and maybe inclusion of 4K lens for it, this one actually works out to be much cheaper choice than ONE R. So there is that, and it is not having a color sort of screen. You're gonna use your phone anyways to do that sort of thing, so you don't really need that all that much. Now, how is it compared to ONE X2? Well, because ONE X2 is kind of new out on the market, and a lot of third-party vendors have not taken on ONE X2 capabilities. So something like Matterport does not support ONE X2, whereas they still do support ONE X full-fledged. And obviously it's gonna be cheaper than ONE X2. So the final argument is, why should you get ONE X Enterprise model, this one, over regular ONE X? Well, it is because the included lens cap, well, that's gonna be hard sell, isn't it? So actually no, there's something better than that. So here is the blog post of Insta360 about the Enterprise Edition, and it is ready for business, and it's got that specific firmware. Therefore there's an in-camera stitching and capabilities. Therefore the third-party platforms like Matterport and Kula could utilize those features, therefore cutting time. So there is a mention of all the additional features that the firmware offers you. But again, this firmware is available to you via a website even if you have none Enterprise ONE X. And everything is the same. If you go to Insta360 ONE X Enterprise Edition page, it mentions some additional firmware features over the original one. However, the things are kind of different if you go to Buy Now section. Right now, Insta360 Virtual Tour Kit ONE X Enterprise Edition standalone is available at about $400. And if you were to get the Enterprise Edition Virtual Tour Kit, which includes the tripod as well as 32GB micro SD card, then it is going to be $464.85. So you can either go for this one or this one. Since this is cheaper, I'm just gonna select that one. And here it says, would you like to add a 1X battery, the additional one? I would say no, thank you. And then would you like to get sort of the warranty, the care system? No, I'm okay without. So everything works out to be $399.95. If we were to go to regular 1X webpage, Insta360 store, and if we were to try and go find Insta360 ONE X, basically it is out of stock. We cannot get either the regular or one with the dive case. We just cannot get hold of the original 1X. So it kind of seems like they're out of stock on the original one, yet the enterprise version is available if you were to try and get it. And because this specific camera is arguably the best-selling camera of Insta360, you can only get hold of these if you were to buy through enterprise. And by the way, I would appreciate if you were to use the affiliated link that I'm gonna leave in the description for you guys to buy this specific enterprise version. And whilst it is not going to cost you anything extra, it is going to give me a small percentage so that I can support this channel. So if you were to buy through that link, I would highly appreciate. So if you have been looking for 1X stock because it kind of has been out of stock for quite a long time, then now you know how to get one for yourself. And lastly, I wanted to mention a couple of different accessories that I think should go with this specific camera. First, you're gonna need micro SD card. If you don't buy the virtual tour kit, which includes 32GB of micro SD card, I think 32 is just a little. I prefer something like 128 so that I can stock up a lot of photos and everything so that I don't run out in the middle of the job. So I kind of recommend high speed 128GB because you want to record 5K video on it, and if it is not fast enough, it is not going to record properly. It is going to stop in the middle of capturing. So there are some recommended specifications that Insta360 recommends, so do look that up. But for sure, you're gonna need a micro SD card with the purchase of this camera. I don't think you can kind of see, it is quite small. Okay, you need SD card, and I recommend getting extra set of batteries. This one here is one from PowerExtra. It comes with the charger itself. This one accepts charging via micro USB as well as USB-C, so you can use the same cable with the camera and then connect to this specific charger. And then it comes with two other batteries. You can just line them up like that and then charge your battery as well. Obviously this is not OEM, so Insta360 is not going to recommend, and it is certainly not the safest to use this. However, I'm using these as sort of a backup, so just in case the OEM battery runs out of its power and I just gotta get the job done, then I have two extra batteries just in case. And then you can just kind of leave it charging inside of your bag. And then lastly, the tripod. So here I kind of have rigged it up, and this is what I kind of carry around. I don't carry around like this. I actually unscrew this one as well as bottom one here. It's in kind of pieces and it fits inside a bag a lot nicer. However, when you arrive at the site, what you do is you just kind of screw that on. Kind of feels weird doing this on site because you feel like you're assembling something on site. So once you do that, you can just kind of screw on the camera, and obviously you don't need anything else, no extra case or anything like that. So I'll leave all the links in the description for you guys to find all of these items included in this video and the ones that I sort of recommend. And the first section here is actually the selfie stick from ONE R. So if you were to get ONE R selfie stick, this comes with that, and it is sort of friction held. You don't need to twist or anything like that. This is for extra length that you need. And then the first sort of the longer selfie stick, it is the selfie stick for ONE X. So if you were to get the virtual tour kit, this is gonna be included, or you can buy it separate. And then the bottom here is actually, it looks a bit too big for this purpose, but there's a reason for it. Cayer, or C-A-V-E-R, in SV5. It is a tripod feet that is meant for much bigger cameras, so it kind of gives you that extra stability that you need. But the best part is the fact that this specific feet is all metal construction, so not only this one adds the solidity to the setup, because there's a lot of weight to it. Even though wind blows, it's gonna kind of hold its place. It's not gonna be windproof, but it is gonna be much better off than flimsy, plasticky, short feet that you attach to. Last thing you want is knocking over the tripod, therefore your camera goes, everything goes, and you're kind of left without a good solution. It's got nice grippy rubber at the tips, and then it folds nicely. You just need to pull like that, and then folds down nicely. But when you arrive at the site, you just open up, lock it up, and then it opens up wide. You can kind of lock it to the lower position as well, as this is meant for different monopod and everything. But obviously I want more sturdiness over sort of the maximum height in this case. So I would just, and I really like this one because this one actually has a ball head as well, so you can actually angle it different for monopod, if you're aware of the photography monopod feet. So it is that, but this one locks in position so that everything stays upright, and then there's no chance that this is going to wobble around because there's a locking mechanism for the ball head. So it is gonna stay upright and vertical, and that's what you need for these 360 photos. The last thing you want is this kind of coming out wonky, although you can kind of fix that in the post. It is much easier if everything's level. So you just put that down onto the floor. First twist this so that you stretch that. So put it onto the floor, and then usually this will do it. But if you want extra height because you want higher level view, you can just kind of extend that. This is gonna go much taller than my height, and I wouldn't take 360 photos like that, but I don't know, if you want taller shot, you can do that. Or you can hold it up yourself, and I have walked around site with a movie capturing like that so that I capture what's above the roof of a building. So that's available, but typically this will do because this is sort of eye level for me. Oh, I forgot to mention the battery bank as well. Any sort of battery bank would work, but I'll leave a link in the description for this specific one. So before I close out on this video, what you do is you just hold this one, the smaller button here, and then it will turn on, and the LCD screen is gonna turn on. It says no SD card, and I'm gonna have to put that in. It is at the bottom of the device. So I'm gonna insert the SD card. So now it is green, saying that it is on, as well as the Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, everything is enabled. And then I can connect to my phone so I see what this camera is seeing on my phone screen. I know I rambled on about a lot of different things. Sometimes these unboxing videos don't really go as I have planned, but hopefully it just kind of made sense to you why this camera might be useful for you. I'm also planning on making additional videos utilizing the enterprise firmware that ONE X has, so I can showcase what kind of benefit the enterprise firmware has when using the third-party softwares. If you have liked this content, please like and subscribe to my channel. If you're interested in seeing more videos like this, thank you so much for watching. As always, I'll see you next time. Bye.